Now, after this short interlude, let's focus on the basic programming concepts we'll need to get straight. These are concepts you need to know and understand to be able to fully comprehend the exercises we'll be doing. Well, most if not all of these concepts can be found in other programming languages as well. I'll be MaxScript specific in my explanations. So, what are variables, properties, functions, methods, or operators, and evaluation? Let's start with variables. Let's think back to our simple banana milkshake example for a second. And the command get some bananas. I noted back then that the word sum is not a defined value. As MaxScript would say it, it's undefined. So our programming environment would not understand it. If we swap the word sum with the more abstract x, we would get x bananas. This form shows us how MaxScript would see the command. We understand the verb get and understand the noun bananas, but have no idea what x means. It's undefined. There are many cases in any type of programming when the code we make has to be reusable in the future with different values. Say we want to be able to use the get bananas command for large amounts of bananas and for a single banana as well. For that we will use the word x as a container that gets its value assigned to it. We define its value. If our script lines looked something like this, x equals 4, then get x bananas. In the first line, we take our container named x and put the value of 4 into it. When the next line gets evaluated and MaxScript reads x, it will look into this container and find the value 4 in it. So it will get us 4 bananas. These containers are known as variables in the programming world, as their values can be varying based on the current usage. Think of variables as boxes that you can put things in. In the previous example, we had a box named x and we put the number 4 into it. But we can put pretty much anything into this virtual box. Let's change our script a little bit to achieve more control on what we can buy. X equals 4, then y, a new variable, equals bananas. Then our command looks like get x, y. As you can see here, we simply put the bananas into another variable and defined it for the command. When MaxScript evaluated the command line, it could see that it had to get x, which means 4, pieces of y, which means bananas. This way, our get command can be used for pretty much anything. Say x equals 1, then y equals BMW, then get xy would get us a BMW. Even though this example might be a little out there, it shows us that through using variables instead of hard-coding the values into our scripts, we can achieve a great versatility. If you look at this example, you'll also notice that there are different types of values. The first one we used was a number. Then with bananas, it was a fruit type, and BMW was a car. A variable, this container, can hold values of very different types. But the type of the value that is in the variable determines what kind of functions we can use on the given variable. If our variables have numbers in them, like here, multiplication makes sense. X equals 5 and y equals 10. X multiplied by y would give 50 as a result. But if they have fruits in them, like x equals banana, y equals orange, well, this multiplication wouldn't really make any sense. So we have to understand the differences between value types and how we can actually use them. In MaxScript, as in the real world, there are many very different value types which we will slowly learn as we go along. Each have their own uses in certain cases. We can generally say that pretty much every entity in 3ds Max, like geometry objects, modifiers, controllers, or materials, is an object with its own type. The actual MaxScript type names that we can use to refer to them via MaxScript are usually the same as the type name the 3ds Max user interface calls these entities by. So, for example, Box's MaxScript type name is Box, and the Snow Particle System's type name is Snow. But there are slight differences sometimes, like Superspray's MaxScript type name is Superspray. Note that there is no space in the name. Or a point cache modifier's type is point cache with an underscore instead of a space. These are the more obscure value types, and we'll talk more about them later. I'll give a short list and explanation of the more important value types that we'll use fairly often. The first type is integer numbers, numbers that can't have fraction values. Think of the BMW example. It wouldn't make much sense